What is up, everyone? Today we are using a grid model to subtract fractions. So we're talking about fractions. You know what that means? We're talking about pizzas. Why does everyone always talk about pizzas when we do fractions? Well, there's not enough pizza in the world to satisfy my hunger, except for the weird broccoli pizza from San Francisco. That's not pizza.
What the heck is that?
Who puts broccoli on pizza?
That's it. I'm done.
Congratulations, San Francisco. You've ruined pizza. First the Hawaiians, and now you.
Well, today, you'll be happy to know, or maybe a little bit sad, that we're not going to be using pizza with fractions. Surprise, surprise, because we're going to be using grids. Well, I guess we can use square pizzas, but are those really pizzas? Anyways, let's get into this. Let's use a grid model to subtract 2/3 and 1/5. We're going to make rows and columns to represent a grid for these fractions. Let's make a row of 3 and columns of 5. What we're going to do with this grid, we're going to symbolically lay it over this, so we'll have approximately 15 boxes. Why? Because we're multiplying 3 by 5, and we should be getting 15 boxes when we put them together like this. Our grid here, you're able to see our original rows, so there's 3 of them here, and now our columns, which is broken down into fifths. Let me show you again. Our rows, here's our 1/3, here's 2/3, here's 3/3, and our columns, 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4, and 5/5. We're gonna now fill in these grids with counters. And if you remember, these rows are the grids and the columns are the fifths. So let's fill in 2/3 worth of counters. That's 1/3 and that's 2/3. Remember, that's 1/3, that's another third, and that's the last third. If we're subtracting 1/5, we'll need to recognize taking out one of these columns, but it has to be even. What we're going to need to do is move this counter to perhaps this spot right here, and we're going to take out a 5th. So we'll move that now. Now that we have our counter in this space here, we have a whole 5th that we can take off. Remember, the columns are the 5ths. So these are all the 5ths. We're going to take out one whole column, which is one whole 5th. And let's eliminate that right now. If we take out those counters, we're left with 7 counters out of 15. 5, 10, 15 grids. So if we write our answer, it is 7 out of 15. Let's try another way to use this grid. We'll maintain the 15 square grid over here because we know that 3 times 5 would give us 15 squares. And let's fill out the 2 rows because it's 2 out of 3. If we created another grid, again, with the same 15 empty squares, we can now place 1/5 of them into the columns. As we take a look, we have 2 rows here, and we've got 1 row, which is 1/5 here. If we count this up, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here there is 3. And if we were to see the difference, which is subtraction, what is the difference between this grid and this grid? Well, there are 7 more dots here than this one because there's 3. And that's another way we're able to use the grid method to solve a subtraction question for fractions. Now it's your turn to try this one. Can you subtract 5/9 and 1/4 using the grid model? Press pause right now and try it. I'll also give you a quick hint if you can't get it. So just press pause right now, try it out, and press unpause for a hint. Here's your hint. I made the starting point of my grid with 9 rows. And then I made another grid with a column of fourths. what I'd like to do is move them over and overlay it. And if I overlaid it, I would know that 9 times 4 would give me 36 different boxes. So now try it, adding 5 rows with counters and 1 column of counters. Press pause now and solve it. If you were able to get this far, amazing. I've got 5 rows filled with counters. So 5/9 has been satisfied. I need to take out 1/4 of this. I can take out any quarter, but what I do need are counters in these quarters. So let's move 1, 2, 3, 4 of these counters into this spot, and then we'll see what happens. Now we have this whole column filled with counters, and we can take out 1/4. So this whole area here, we can take out, and how much do we have left? We have approximately 11 counters. We've got the 5 here, 5 there, plus 1 more, and we can, with confidence, say that 5/9 take away 1/4 is 11/36. Now remember, the beauty of math is that you don't have to take the same road as everyone else to get to the same answer. There are so many different strategies and ways to figure out, especially things like fractions. And this method is just another way to arrive to the same answer. This is called, once again, using the grid method to subtract with fractions. If you liked this one, feel free to use it for your summatives and your tests. If you found this confusing and really want to use it, take a look back at this video, rewind it, and watch it again. If anything, ask me some questions in class. And for now, happy mathing and eat some pizza. Do it. It's the best thing on earth. All right, except for broccoli pizza. Bye now.
Who puts broccoli on pizza?
That's it. I'm done.